Ülkenin ifade özgürlüğünün hal ve gidişi her hafta bir öncekini aratmıyor. İşte bu hafta bizim elimizin üstünde kalanlar.
An investigation was launched against Chamber of Architects Bursa Branch Executive Board Chair Shirin Rodoplu Şimşek and the representative of Union of Chambers of Turkish Engineers and Architects Provincial Coordination Board due to the banner that was hung on the building of Bursa Academic Chambers Union with the writing, "Release those arrested due to the Gezi Park. Gezi Park is our honor," in order to support Mücella Yapıcı, Tayfun Kahraman and Can Atalay, who were recently sentenced to 18 years in prison on the grounds of organizing and financing the Gezi Park protests.
An investigation was launched against journalist Oktay Candemir for posting a photo of Van Governor Mehmet Emin Bilmez on social media. The journalist is charged with insulting a public official due to his Twitter post dated April 25, 2022 with the expression, "One sport is dead, the city's economy is dead, civil and democratic life is dead, the local press is dead, municipal administration is dead. What is left is bribery, favoritism, drugs, gambling, hunger, misery."
The Court of Cassation announced its decree on the 9-year, 8-month and 20-day imprisonment sentence of Republican People's Party Istanbul Provincial Chair Canan Kaftancıoğlu on charges of making propaganda for a terrorist organization, insulting a public official, insulting the president, publicly denigrating the Republic of Turkey, and public incitement to resentment and hostility on the grounds of her social media posts. The court upheld a total of 4 years and 11 months of imprisonment issued on 3 of 5 charges imposed against her. Kaftancıoğlu was also banned from politics.
The investigation launched against Emine Şenyaşar, whose husband and 2 sons were murdered by the Justice and Development Party Urfa Parliament member Ibrahim Halil Yıldız's bodyguard and relatives on the grounds of insulting the slandering Yıldız with her expression on March 3, 2022, which is the anniversary of the Justice Watch she held in front of the Urfa courthouse, was concluded with non-prosecution. Şenyaşar has been subjected to 14 different investigations since March 9, 2021, is on trial in 3 separate cases, with 10 separate investigations continue against her.
A terrorism investigation has been launched against journalist İsmail Saymaz, who wrote that the wife of Judge Murat Bircan, who signed the conviction decrees in the Gezi Park case, is a FETÖ confessor.
80-year-old Makbule Özer and her 79-year-old husband Hadi Özer, who were sentenced to 2 years and 1 month in prison on charges of aiding a terrorist organization in Van, were arrested and sent to prison after the appeal court decree. Dilan Kunt, the lawyer of the Özer couple, stated that Makbule Özer was 52% disabled and could not meet her personal needs on her own and requested the execution of her prison sentence in the house. However, the one judicature of execution denied the request, claiming that legal conditions were not met.
Pegasus Airlines employee OT was fired and faced an investigation on the allegation of public incitement to resentment and hostility due to sharing a photo that depicted him consuming alcohol on the night of Qadr, deemed holy in Islam. When he went to the prosecutor's office to testify, he was sent to the court to be arrested. However, the court released him on the condition of judicial measures.
A lawsuit filed against a citizen named Hediye Karakaş, living in Aydın, on charge of insult on the grounds that she liked a social media post on the Presidential Communications Director Fahrettin Altun.
The Eskişehir Governorate banned all events to be organized in open-air public areas across the province for 15 days, except those deemed appropriate by the local administration and political party activities. All press statements, marches and meetings were banned in Adana as well between May 9th and 24th, including those to be organized in parks, gardens and in front of public buildings, except those to be organized by political parties and trade unions. The decree was issued with a written statement from the Provincial Security Directorate. The decrees were issued in Adana after Furkan Foundation's founder Alparslan Kuytul was detained and arrested, and in Eskişehir right before the music festival Anadolu Fest. The decrees have become new examples of unlawful bans.
Batman Governorate announced that protests and all activities to be organized throughout the province were banned for 15 days between May 10 and 24. The governorate banned all open-air meetings, press releases, protests, demonstration marches, protest actions, leaflet distributions to civil administration permission except for the events to be organized by public institutions. The Riza Governorate also banned demonstrations and open-air meetings throughout the city for 5 days. All press statements, leaflet distributions were bound to civil administration permission, except commercial advertisements.
The Monitoring Association for Equal Rights has launched the Right to Peaceful Meeting and Demonstration Monitoring newsletter data. According to the data shared by the association, at least 96 peaceful demonstrations were intervened in the first 3 months of 2022, and at least 1,326 people were detained during these interventions. The right to peaceful meeting and demonstration was restricted 38 times in 15 provinces, with 31 general and 7 specific ban decrees issued by the civil authorities in the 3-month period.
The Radio and Television Supreme Council penalized Halk TV, KRT, Tele1, and Flash TV after the channels broadcasted the statements made by the Republican People's Party Group Deputy Chairman Özgür Özel and the Workers' Party of Turkey Parliament member Ahmet Şık following the final decree in the Gezi trial. According to the council, the broadcasts in question humiliated and denigrated the ruling power.
The website of Etkin News Agency was blocked from access by the Diyarbakır 4th Criminal Court of Peace. Thus, the agency's URLs have been censored for the 12th time since the beginning of 2022.
Malatya Turgut Özal University Rector Aysun Bay Karabulut requested an access block against 14 news items on Malatya Haber website regarding the corruption and irregularities at the university. Concluding the application, Malatya 3rd Criminal Judicature of Peace issued access blocks against 2 news items.
Mersin 3rd Criminal Judicature of Peace issued an access block against the columns of Murat Ağrel on Yeni Çağ Daily as well as of Timur Soykan on Bir Gün Daily regarding the cocaine seized in Mersinport on grounds of violation of personal rights.
The skit satirizing Ministry of Treasury and Finance Nurettin Nebati was not broadcast in the comedy show Güldür Güldür on Show TV. It was alleged that the parody, which had previously appeared in the show trailers, satirizing the minister's statements and his inaccurate inflation forecasts, was censored by the intervention of the channel management. The channel management, on the other hand, denied the allegations and announced that the skit would be broadcast next week.
The Council of Administrative Litigation Chambers of the Council of State made its final decision in the lawsuit filed by the Journalists Union of Turkey regarding the circular issued by the Security Directorate that prevents audio and visual recordings of the police in the public arena and denied the objections of the Ministry of Interior and the Security Directorate regarding the circular that was suspended by the 10th Chamber of the Council of State in November 2021.
The Constitutional Court decided that the regulation regarding the penalization of people who only participated in a press release or meeting or tweeted on the grounds that they committed a crime on behalf of a terrorist organization led to a violation of rights. With the decree, which is now a pilot decree, unless the Turkish parliament makes the necessary arrangements to eliminate the violation in the legislation regulating the crime in accordance with Article 220/6 of the Turkish Criminal Code, all applications made with regards to this crime will be issued a decree of violation of rights.
In the lawsuit filed on the bomb attack during the People's Democratic Party rally in Diyarbakır in 2015, in which 4 people lost their lives and more than 200 people were injured, a verdict of acquittal was issued after the retrial of the police officers who were previously sentenced to prison over neglect of duty. 4 of the police officers tried at the Diyarbakır 14th Criminal Court of First Instance had been sentenced to 2 months and 15 days in prison each. The decision had been overturned by the Diyarbakır 9th Assize Court upon objections. The court had stated that the police cannot be blamed and placed the responsibility for the massacre on the municipality on the grounds that it did not collect the garbage.
Adliye koridorları bu hafta yine bir hayli yoğundu. Nitekim takip ettiğimiz davaların hepsini programımıza sığdırabilmek mümkün olmadı. İşte seçtiklerimiz.
The trial of Human Rights Association co-chair Öztürk Türkdoğan started at Ankara 60th Criminal Court of First Instance on the charge of insulting a public official through the article published on the website of the Human Rights Association on June 29, 2018 with the title Mandatory Statement Regarding Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu. The second hearing of the case will be held on June 27th.
The first hearing of the lawsuit filed against 4 People's Democratic Party members was held on charge of openly inciting the people to resentment and hostility due to the banner hung on the People's Democratic Party 1 İpek Yolu district building to condemn the murder of 7 members of the same family in the racist attack in Konya. The trial of the People's Democratic Party members, including 1 provincial co-chair and İpek Yolu district co-chair, will continue on July 10 at the 1/4 Criminal Court of First Instance.
The lawsuit filed against Father Menderes Gündüz, who was accused of insulting a public official for reacting to the sentence issued against the murderer of his son, who died as a result of being hit by an alcoholic driver in Ankara, has started at the Ankara 65th Criminal Court of First Instance. The second hearing of the case will be held on October 11th.
The lawsuit filed against writer Gökhan Yavuzel started at Şanlıurfa 4th Criminal Court of First Instance on the charge of insulting the president through his post about Deniz Poyraz, who was killed in the attack against the People's Democratic Party building in Izmir. The court issued an arrest warrant for the writer and accepted Erdogan's request to take part in the case, adjourning the hearing to December 6.
The lawsuit filed against Pir Sultan Abdal Cultural Association founding chairman Murtaza Demir continued at the Istanbul 9th Criminal Court of First Instance due to the article titled Take Your Imam and Go, which he wrote after the Keçeci Baba Dervish Lodge in Tokat was turned into a mosque. The prosecutor's office requested Demir's acquittal of the charge of public incitement to resentment and hostility, whereas a sentence for up to 4 years in prison on the charge of insulting the president. The next hearing was scheduled for October 25th.
The latest hearing on the lawsuit filed against Yüksekova News Portal's editor-in-chief Erkan Çapraz and publishing coordinator Ömer Oğuz was held at Hakkari First Assize Court on the charge of making propaganda for a terrorist organization for broadcasting the penal speeches of People's Democratic Party parliament members Sait Dede and Leyla Güven on 2020 on YouTube. The court decided to seek the consent of the Diyarbakır 9th Assize Court to merge the file with the case filed against Leyla Güven in Diyarbakır. The hearing was adjourned to September 13.
The first hearing was held in the lawsuit filed against leftist party Keçiören District President Murat Güzel on the charge of making propaganda for a terrorist organization on the grounds that he shared the photo of Hıdır Aslan, who was executed during the September 12 period. Ankara 27th Assize Court adjourned the case to May 27th, deciding that the file should be sent to the prosecutor's office for the preparation of an opinion on the merits.
Lawyer Zafer Çelik was sentenced to 6 years and 3 months in prison in the lawsuit filed against him at the Tunceli First Assize Court on the charge of armed terrorist organization membership due to his professional activities.
The lawsuit filed against journalist İsmail Arı started on the charge of unlawfully obtaining and disseminating personal data due to the news published in the Bir Gün Daily on October 6, 2020, with the title Bir Gün has reached the documents of the fines imposed on the president and general manager of the Red Crescent. The next hearing in the case was scheduled for October 11th.
And the lawsuit filed against poet Yılmaz Odabaşı on the grounds of a social media post in which he criticized the problems in the healthcare system and the influence of sex in the healthcare system. The prosecutor's office requested his acquittal of the charge of public incitement to resentment and hostility, whereas his penalization due to denigration of the public. The third hearing of the case will be held on May 24 at the Antalya Alanya 6th Criminal Court of First Instance.
The İzmir Menemen 3rd Criminal Court of First Instance sentenced People's Liberation Party Deputy Secretary General, İzmir Provincial Chairman and lawyer Taceddin Çolak to 3 years, 1 month and 27 days in prison for insulting the president due to his social media posts. As part of the file, Cholak was also tried for using the phrase "the head of the fugitive palace" in a speech he gave at an event held on December 23, 2019, but was acquitted of this charge.
The first hearing of lawsuit filed against 18 people who were detained prior to the 2021 Istanbul LGBTI plus Pride Parade was held at the Istanbul 6th Criminal Court of First Instance on charges of violating the law number 2911 and resisting the prevent duty. The next hearing will be held on December 23rd.
Haftaya her hafta olduğu gibi kaldığımız yerden devam edeceğiz. Yeniden buluşuncaya kadar hoşça kalın.